gotta feel my struggle. Yeah.
Look, I know I would do it. We made history.
So I'm sorry. I had to cut the video cut short again because of the it ate away at the space on my phone. So what I was saying is that the spirit guides. I'm sorry. I want to have this music on in the background, but I need to. It doesn't empower me, but I like having it in the background because it's also empowering. So the spirits showed me how to retrain my eyes to be able to focus only on the object that I see. All of a sudden, the condition faded away, and then and they said to me, we want you to be able to go back and forth because the condition itself is helping you to see into other dimensions, which will help you later on in your shamanic practice and in the things that you need to accomplish later on. So we want you to be able to go back and forth. So they made me literally practice going back and forth between seeing the condition and then seeing the seeing the condition and seeing the. I practiced that for a few minutes, and I was tripping on ayahuasca, on DMT. I mean, it opened up my pineal gland. I was connecting with the spirits, and everything was making so much sense to me. It lasted about 4 hours, and we did what they told me, other things, and then I traveled to past lives, and I was with other beings, and we, that not just these, but other like what I am, I guess, because then back then I did not know my soul was originated from Arcturus, but since I do now, I look back and say that that was the beginnings of my communication with what I consider my spirit guides that have been helping me for the last. Since my divorce, 2007, really. I've had shaky times, with other things, but it was that first and I've had two other ones since then. It's not something I really want to go back to and do all the time. I smoked DMT once. Smoking it is a lot different. If you smoke it, that's the only other way that I'll pass the blood-brain barrier without having an amyloid inhibitor. If you smoke it, it gives you about a 20-minute. Oh my God, this is great! Oh look at this! Everything is opening up. I feel connected to the sky and everything, to the things around me, and then come back down. But the ayahuasca is a specific experience. If you have some kind of anything going on in your life, and if you go into it with that intention, and you're open to the spirits that are part of that plant, and if the plant was created correctly and the atmosphere and the environment is correct, I've heard that people are doing ayahuasca retreats in trailers in Kentucky or something. I mean, I guess it's okay if you're from there, but if you're I had a lot of plants in my backyard in Florida that I was planted, and those plants provided me that connection to the spirit world as well. The first time I did it, and the other time I did it was in the Everglades. But the first time I did it was the one that the other time was just me getting like a little bit more and a little more. But that first time cured my eye condition. I have not wore contacts since that day. I now, when I drive and I see the condition, all I need to do is, and then sometimes I don't even see the condition because I'm focused on the thing that I do. And then when I'm doing some of those paintings that I do and some of the other things that I do, the light art I do, I let that go, and that what I do then peers into the dimensions and brings those images into what I'm doing. And that's how I create that artwork. I don't really plan that artwork. It just, I open it up and they come in, and then they become the light art, or they become the art that I have on the wall. I mean, on a canvas on the walls. I've actually painted the house in Florida before I left. I painted murals on all the walls. I'm sure they painted over them, but all of them, from the same thing. That's when I actually started to paint. I hadn't painted in years, and then I did it in Florida, and then I did it again like in 2011, 2010, and then I did it again last year with all the paintings I did. So, psychedelics have a very important part to play in human evolution. As Mr. Terence McKenna mentioned, that he assumes that the mushroom was introduced into the food supply to certain cultures that had them growing, and these mushroom spores, where do they come from? Well, they grow on the cow dung because it actually has, and if it it needs a moist environment to grow in. You do it if you do it yourself, you usually grow it on a cake made out of brown rice powder and vermiculite and water, and but where do the spores come from? These spores that you get that to create the mushroom, there has been and I've got the same messages that Terence McKenna got that from my guys that they're brought in by meteorites. They're brought in by foreign objects that the universe is sending down to help the evolutionary process. Because the mushrooms, they were easily introduced just like the ergot fungus was. But the ergot fungus was done in such a way that these people that were closed-minded and very pilgrims and whatever you call them, the Dutch, whatever they were, the ones that did the witch hunts, they were very Catholic Christian, and when they saw the stuff, it made them crazy. But in cultures like the Mayan civilization, they used psilocybin mushrooms, and the Incan and South American and some of the Siberian different forms of these same mushrooms. These were introduced into their food supply because of the hunting and the gathering. And as they were introduced in the food supply, the evolutionary process kicked in and helped them to evolve. It's like if you ever watched the movie 2001: Space Odyssey. That was based on a book that was written about about the evolutionary process of human, and the obelisk that's in the movie and in the book. That really represents the evolutionary leap of a society, and that in my mind has always meant it was a metaphor. The Mara helmet was a metaphor for the psychedelic experience, especially mushrooms that were introduced as a food supply. So very important to understand that. Why they help with one dose. Scientists are now discovering that one dose. Let's see, cures people from depression. One dose, no side effects. I did them for 8 years when I was growing them. I had never had a side effect. But side effect is like, oh, I'm laughing a little bit too much, and you're having really good, and just enjoying everything, man. Microdosed on them for a while. I actually microdosed on LSD for a very long time, unbeknownst to people around me. Just a little tiny piece. I'm going to go back now to ayahuasca real quick, and then I'm going to continue with LSD real quick. And I'm sorry if anybody doesn't want to hear this, just go away, man. Just stop listening. Because the thing with it is, your judgment on the people that do it is getting me the fuck pissed off. The judgment that you have against these people is because it's like somebody said, people that have tattoos never judge people that don't care about if you have a tattoo or not. But people that don't have tattoos, just, oh my God, look at that person with all those tattoos. It's the same thing. We don't judge you. So why the fuck are you judging us? Because some legal system, alcoholic fucking lawyer or judge or legal system wants us to obey by their orders and take your pharmaceuticals instead and take your fucking alcohol instead? No, thank you. That's not fair. It's not, you're ripping away a plant medicine from us and then making it illegal and then forcing us to take pharmaceuticals in its place. The ones that you can make money on, kickbacks from the pharmaceutical companies, right? So please. So the ayahuasca experience was an amazing experience. It cured me of my eye condition. That not one eye doctor that I spent hundreds and hundreds and thousands of dollars to go see, because a lot of the stuff was the contacts weren't covering my the things that specific things were, but some of the things were not. Oh well, if you could just wear glasses, I can't wear glasses. Just the corner. Well, we're not covering the contacts. Sorry, man. $300 for the contacts, man. They used to pop on around. I used to have to get them. I'm lucky I was working at a place that I was making. If not, I'd be blind. I could go blind with them. So and that's why I consider psychedelics to be godsend. Any plant medicine, and even the coca plant and the poppy plant, and the cactus, and everything that's ever been used in tribal cultures for something it was either made illegal and bastardized and you sold by the criminal element and just you profited on, and all that rips away that spirit. Spirit gets ripped away. So if you want to really understand plant medicine, go do it a natural way. And I don't mean natural that I could do the thing that they're selling there. I boil it down and get all the shit that they put out of it, and I do it, and it's the same thing. But the thing is that you don't see it as being the same thing. You see it as me being something that you judge. And I'm sick of hearing that fucking word. If I fucking hear that word crack or crack addict or junkie or whatever else, then I'm gonna fucking, I swear to God, I'm gonna call my spirit guys to come down and fucking haunt you for a little bit. Make you go into your past life and understand that you were using them at one point and they ripped them away from you. And they made you judgmental against the people that do because they don't want you to use them. Because they expand your mind, expand your consciousness, and help the evolutionary process of the human being. So that's ayahuasca. It's very important, and I've recommended it to some people that I thought that they come back to me, they did it, and I said, wow, it really helped me. But then the same people, now that I'm doing something else, and now they're judging me. So that's the whole caveat of this human experience. It's you guys are very, very fickle race of people. So let me go back to now real quick, LSD. What's really interesting, I read some books by Stanislav Grof. He developed a form of psychotherapy. Kind of like Timothy Leary, but more scientific. Timothy Leary was always a hippie, and he was in with the music thing. Stanislav Grof, his book, The Adventures of Self-Discovery, I think it was, and another one I read, that he described his dealings with using LSD to treat psychosomatic and very deep-rooted problems. I mean, children being raped at a young age and then not remembering it as adults, and then within 1, 2, 3 sessions of a dose of LSD under a controlled environment where he was walking through and helping them, tap into that childhood memory and release some negative energy, and then come out of it with a clear mind. It's not 6-7 years of psychotherapy. It's one, and it's not. You're not taking something that all of a sudden you have to take all the time. It's like Seroquel and make you it just makes you stupid. No, this is something that'll make you come up with the issue. Go back and relive. You see, people that have never done LSD don't really understand what it does. Oh, it's crazy. It makes you hallucinate. No, it's crazy stuff. Oh no, I will never take it. It makes you go into your past and figure out the things that happened to you. Go back to that moment, and you live. Basically, I stepped into the first time I stepped into childhood memories and even later on when I stopped doing that, I did it childhood memories that were locked into my mind, that were creating something in me that all of a sudden released, man. His book, Stanislav Grof, the Adventures of Self-Discovery, that's the one that, wow, man, just fucking wow. Then he has another one called The Holotropic Brain, which is really good, but that one, wow. When you're talking about using a psychedelic, and all these scientists know LSD, we find that mushrooms is very helpful to get out of here, bro. Stanislav Grof, in a certain time, he developed a technique that was helping people not within 2-3 years and with fucking hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of freaking medication. 2, 3, 4, 5 sessions, and these people were walking out no longer having these psychosomatic illnesses and these things that were crippling them as human beings. One story I remember was this guy remembered he blocked out being raped by his uncle and somebody else as a young child, and he blocked it out, and he was going and having sex, and the sex has to be painful. It had to be bodies, and there has to be some kind of intense pain involved. If not, he wouldn't orgasm. And he didn't know what to do and why that even happened. And he regressed back to those moments that he had blocked out as a child. And then that self-destructive behavior disappeared in him. Read the book. It's fascinating. And then all this wonderful stuff. And then all of a sudden they made fucking LSD illegal. And then he couldn't do it anymore. So then him and his wife developed something called holotropic breathwork, which is also a fascinating book, and it's this really fast yoga type breathing they've been doing in India for like probably thousands of years. But he developed it in a certain way and used it as a form of doing that same, reaching that same semi-psychedelic state. Let me tell you something, Stanislav, I love you, bro, and the book is amazing, and the breathwork is really good, but you know deep down in your heart, it ain't nothing compared to that ergot fungus and what it does to the body, and how used correctly it could help a lot of fucking people that the government stopped him from creating. Stopped him. Now, I don't know if he was still doing it under the table and didn't write about it, but in the book he said he had to stop because the government said, no, you can't do that anymore. They stopped all use of any kind of psychedelics and any kind of like psychotherapy. Why? Because they wanted the pharmaceutical company to get a hold of those mentally ill patients, and then give them Prozac and other pharmaceuticals that were making a lot of money on. LSD you can make a lot of money. Even a tab costs $5, man. You can take a tab and chop it up into like I don't know, 6 or 7, maybe even 10 pieces. One little tab, 10 pieces, and take a little tiny bit of it, and it still would be more beneficial than any of that shit that they fucking try to feed you as pharmaceuticals with no side effects. John Lennon did 200 hits in his entire lifetime. I did them in a fucking 2 years. And there is nothing wrong with me other than the fact that I cannot fucking look around and see and watch all this shit being continued. I know somebody that spent 10 years in a cage for fucking having a sheet of it. The sheet is 50 hits. It's sad what you do to human beings. And this is how you cut away people from their tribal background. You cut away their ability to connect with the spirit world. Connect like the shaman goes into the forest and talks to the spirits, and the spirits then give them the right plants. They don't have to fucking take all the plants and fucking do testing on them on lab rats to fucking figure it out. As our wonderful modern science does. Because modern science don't believe in spirits and he's telling me I want to go talk to a plant. What is he, fucking crazy? Let's inject the rabbit and the rat and see what happens to them. Idiots. So those are some very important things that I had to get out, and I got it out in 30 minutes, 15 minutes, and this is 50 minutes, and I only got 15 minutes left before and it just shocks me. It's happening to me now, and I'm facing charges. They might send me to something called drug court, where they're going to be monitoring, make sure I don't use the plant medicine that I've been using since I was 14 years old, and then restrict me from using that. And if not, I go to jail. That is what I'm faced with. So I know very well what the problem is, and I'm faced with it right now. And I'm pissed the fuck off that I'm still faced with it, because logically it does not make any sense. These things were derived from things that came from plants that God put on this fucking planet. And if that court system makes me that judge makes me put my hand on the fucking Bible again, to swear that I tell the truth, I will tell you exactly what God is telling me that is the truth. That you, Judge, Your Honor, are putting human beings in cages unnecessarily and at your expense, because I guarantee you, there is no, if you believe in heaven and hell, Judge, Your Honor, when you get to heaven, there ain't no God up there is going to say, hey, you did a really good job putting all those people in cages that you thought you helped. Now, would you mind do me a favor and just step down those stairs? There's going to be a couple of guys with some horns waiting for you. I guarantee you that's what it's going to say to you. That's because you believe in heaven and hell. If not, I would tell you you'd be reincarnated as one of the people in cages. But then you wouldn't understand and go back and forth as a judge in the cage, judge in the cage, judge in the cage, back and forth. Which is stupid to understand that what you're doing is wrong. Judge, Your Honor. So that's my take on all of them. I think anything you name one that's so dangerous that people shouldn't be using. I'll damn you, the most dangerous one is alcohol, and that's perfectly legal. And the second most dangerous is the pharmaceuticals that they feed you, that have no source of spirit. See, the reason that none of the plant medicine has any side effects. The reason that none of the plant medicines have any side effects, right, is because they have a spirit involved, and the spirit the plant is not there to harm you. The plant is there to help you evolve. Now, when you take it into the laboratory and you make a pill version of it, and you strip out all the stuff this is only the active ingredient. It's going to work exactly the same way, but now we can charge them for it. This little pill. We can grow the plant medicine. We have to buy your little pill, and you pharmaceutical companies are making tons and tons of this fucking imaginary fucking thing that you value more than human life, money, that make you live a lot better, as you're making us addicted to your things, and then to get the side effects, and plenty of side effects. All those pharmaceuticals have page and page of side effects. Might not happen to you, but might have. Hey, flu shot gave me Guillain-Barré syndrome. Hey, sorry, you're one of the 150,000 guys. Sorry about that. Hey, but the other ones, it doesn't affect that badly. Anything that's coming out of a laboratory that somehow that's being profited on is going to give you a side effect and probably going to kill you. And that's what's killing the human race. It's probably, I repeat, I'm not going to say this too much because then, maybe that last thing that we had that was 2 years ago, about a year ago, for 2 years ago, and we're still mass, that's most of those things are mostly caused by the side effects of medication that they refuse to, I worked for Johnson & Johnson and Bristol Myers Squibb for as a contractor for a while. And I saw that I actually did applications that were clinical trials that were a joke. They take this new medication and they you know they test it on like 15 people and of different, and then after those and they do another one of those tests and okay, it's like only got 1% that got sick, the rest are fine. Yeah, you wait. Money, when there's money involved, there's a lot of like looking the other way. I guarantee you. Yeah. So again, and money corrupts absolutely. Everything that is revolves around money. The shaman and the spirit from the forest and the jungle. There was no bond. There was no money exchange there. There was you take care of the planet and we'll take care of you that's taking care of the planet and helping us. Boom. That's it. That's all it is. No side effects there. A lot of side effects with your stuff, man. So that's the thing. Again, you continue to put human beings in cages, and you continue to rip away this plant medicine from them, and either make it inaccessible, illegal, or then legalize it, and then tax the shit out of it, and fucking make a whole shit of money like you're doing on marijuana right now. You're stripping away marijuana's power, and it is every one of those places that charges 2-3 times as much as you can get it on the street for selling it, and you're saying nobody else can really sell it except for them in the show. All that is stripping away its power, and that's. I'm not going to say that's going to happen. You're going to because that's the cause of your self-destruction as a civilization. You've taken these things that God has given you and profited off of them. Everything, the planet, the plants, the food supply, the water, everything you touch, human beings, everything people don't control, the wealth class. It's basically them. Everything they touch becomes profitable for them in a very negative energy level. They'll deal with the devil kind of thing, and that has consequences for the entire civilization. And that civilization is not going to feel those consequences if it doesn't change immediately. I mean, you got 2 years before something devastating is going to happen, at the most. And anytime between now and the 2 years, it will be devastating. And it will be devastating to the point that you won't come back from it this time. That's what I'm being told, and that's why the rush and the critical mass and my thing is like I'm going to go sit in a sound healing studio and heal people with music, while I know for a fact that they're not going to be here in 2 years. It doesn't matter how many people I heal; they're all going to be dead, or their souls are going to be ripped away and sent back to the pool of creation. That is what's going to happen. So either the things change now, and there's enough human beings to make those changes. You just don't, don't mess with the government. They got guns, and not to take over the government and raid them and raid the fucking just ignore them and just go fall back and don't fall prey to, don't work for them. Like stop supporting them. I did that. I'm doing that right now, and I'm suffering from it. Of course, I'm doing that and I'm suffering from it. But I'm doing it as an example that if everybody did it, then I wouldn't be suffering. Nobody else would be suffering. They would be suffering because they wouldn't have employees, and then they would walk away and rip out that monetary system, rip it out of the fucking ground, get rid of that shit, man. Tropical doesn't have nothing else has a monetary system except our stupid civilization. And because our stupid civilization is relying on this exchange, but it's a fucking thing that you value more than human life, that people kill for and die for, and everything about it. Oh, but it's the power. Yeah, but the power comes with the money. If there's something you can hold over something and say, I'm better than you, and I'm worth $450 billion, you're not, then there goes the power. But if you understand that everyone is equal, then the power struggle isn't there. You're not animals. If you're animals, you have to fight. If it to be the lion, he has to be like with the big one of the pack, whatever they're called. I don't know. But that doesn't happen if you have the brains to stop that and the ability to communicate and do things the correct way. So that is what God is in spirit, Jah, Allah, Jehovah, whatever God you want to, whatever name you want to put on the thing, the Creator, and Spirit, whatever name you go ahead, man, because and listen to them, because I'm telling you, don't listen to what the rabbis and the priests and all these people that are deciphering the books for you and showing you how to do that as they charge you for that. Listen to the source, and you'll see that everything they tell you is just look around you. Everything in the universe works in harmony. Like I said, the universe doesn't put the moon or the planet, or it doesn't put an asteroid. If an asteroid hits the planet, it doesn't go, asteroid, you shouldn't have done that. You're going to spend your time in jail now because you just ruined the planet Earth. No, it doesn't. Only human beings do. and you human beings that are allowing the wealth class to do that to you and your children the wealth class is evil, and they've made a pact with the devil. That's the closest metaphor that I can come up with to what it actually is. But the slave class, which is the poor class, and the field slaves, there's a lot more of you than them. And all you have to do is unplug from that TV, unplug from all those things that are keeping you like, I got to go to work. And just stop for doing it for a month. I've been doing it for a year and a half. I'm still alive. Do it for a month. And you'll see everything crumble. And then you can go back in there in those buildings that don't belong to them. They don't belong to anything. People they all they did was have money enough to be able to hire people to do it. That's it. If the money wasn't there and there's no value on this thing, then a group of people, human beings, did it, and it belongs to a group of human beings. But it doesn't really belong to them. Just like the Mayan, the Incan, and the other tribal cultures understood, it belonged to Mother Earth, and you're helping Mother Earth expand. That's why all those pyramids in South America and in Asia and in India. I mean, all those all those pyramids they're indestructible. They're part of the planet. She's like, Mother Earth's like, that's nice. It feels nice. It's creating a grid on my body. All of a sudden, you stick fucking skyscrapers and you drill into her body. What do you think? How do you think she feels about you, modern human? Not very well. And she's been very patient right now, but at the 8 billion mark, which is what you're reaching now as a civilization, she's not going to, between 8 and 12, she has to get rid of you, all of you, because it doesn't matter, because you've not learned how to ascend. You've been stunted. You're expanding as humans, instead of being a funnel for the human soul. You're just expanding, and then souls just keep on reincarnating back and forth instead of raising up. And so more souls come in, new souls, and then the old souls are just still there, and they never ascend. They never ascend. They might die, but they always come back. And that's the stunted growth. And that gets to a point where it reaches critical mass, and then she just wipes you off. That's what happened to every civilization before you. Trust me. If you don't believe me and you don't believe this, then at least listen to the logic that comes from not me. I'm not making this up. I don't have a script to read this shit. It's coming through me to you. I didn't even know what the fuck I was. I put this fucking videotape on. I didn't even know what I was going to talk about until I put it on. Do you understand? And it's coming through me to come to you, and it's an important thing that you need to focus on now, not the fucking economy. Not whether or not you can get an electric car or a gas car. Stop with the fucking gas cars immediately. Give everybody a free electric car and give everybody everything for free. Let everybody just work in the system for free, and then nobody's paying and receiving. It's easy. Everybody that's watching this that uses psychedelics understands this. I'm sure they do. It's just the people that are so ingrained into this way of thinking of this capitalist system and this system of profit and the system of greed and the system of this caste system where wealth, creates everything for everyone, and it's basically like we're being led around by a leash, like a dog, like a fucking animal. For the wealth class, so just go ahead, Ray, go shit over there. Go. Oh, I got all these dogs now. They're all moving all that cattle, and all the sheep over there. The dogs are pushing the sheep into the slaughterhouse, and then eventually they're all going to be lamb chops for us. Yay, and coats. Every time I do this, I'm stressing now. They're stressing yesterday. I'm stressing now. Because it should have been yesterday, and there ain't gonna be no tomorrow unless it's today. I guarantee you. I wouldn't be doing this. I'm not stupid. I worked for a long time as a programmer, figuring out things and trying to understand things. Now I understand why. Because I was meant to come down here and explain to you exactly what the fuck is wrong with your civilization and how you can fix it. And that you must fix it now. Because people that have come in here before have tried to explain and it didn't happen, but there was no critical mass rush. This critical mass rush is now. The Mayan calendar ended on 2012, but that Mayan calendar ending was the starting point. And then you have another 11-year period, a number of them, right? But now it's only one. Until the actual either ascension happens of all of humanity, and the bodies and these human souls are then being able to ascend, and then the human form is able to accept all this information, and then slowly it gets to a point where, there's not a problem if this ain't being here, if you're not all drilling into her, but you're all drilling into her, you're taking her stuff, you're basically pulling her water. After a while, if she lets you do this, it's like literally like being on a boat, and letting somebody go around poke holes in everything and saying it's okay, it's okay. We're just covering them up, the holes and covering them up. Eventually, those holes are going to pop, and everything's just going to drown in that boat. And that's what you're doing. And that's just a boat. Imagine she's a living organism. You're riding a freaking beautiful dragon throughout, letting a dragon, you're living on a beautiful dragon just floating in space, and then eventually she's just going, what the fuck are these things on me? Get off of me. Get the fuck off of me. So that's my little ending. So if you only were watching this because of the psychedelic and the war on psychedelics, and I named this, I also added some of that in. And then I got 1 minute and 29 seconds left before this ends. And that time period, I'm going to say again, there's nothing wrong with me. I don't need a rehab. I don't need to go. What I'm expressing right now, I did in different ways to try to connect to different people, because that's the way I was. My DNA was programmed to be able to do with the soul coming in. I'm doing this the best I can. Whatever happens here, happens here. Me and the stars, and the rest of the star seeds on this planet, we just go back to our original star system. We're just, we're kind of like, we're here to help from another, if you had a hurricane, we're coming from another state, but you guys, we'll help you right now, try to help fix something up, but eventually we'll just go back to our state. You're gonna have to deal with, making sure that you do it right, and you make sure that the next one isn't gonna be so devastating. I'm telling you right now, if you don't change now, today, if you don't change, every minute that you let go by is 1 minute less that you have to save the civilization. And yeah, you're going to be the messiahs. You're all waiting for that messiah. You're the messiah. All you have to do is make the right choice, and you become the messiah to save civilization. If not, good luck. Namaste.